Brand news.
If you are 65 or older, you know this, inflation is hitting everyone hard right now, especially when it comes to healthcare. Over the last 10 years, healthcare costs have skyrocketed by, get this, 230%. If you have Medicare Parts A and B, you know there are still out-of-pocket expenses like deductibles and co-payments, and they really add up. But here's some good news. MediShare 65 Plus is designed to fill in those gaps and help protect you from rising healthcare costs. At only $99 per month up to age 75, you get peace of mind at a price you can afford. And MediShare is trusted, too. It's been around 30 years. It's not some big impersonal thing. It's a community of people helping each other, business owners, pastors, retirees. People love it. MediShare 65 Plus just makes sense. To learn more, give them a call. They're great to talk to. They'll offer to pray with you each time you call, too. Call now. 833-SHARE-55. That's 833-SHARE-55. 833-SHARE-55.
Rocket 102.5.
With your updated forecast, I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley from the Weatherology Weather Center. Bright sunshine expected today with daytime highs approaching 55. Winds out of the west, 8 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies again tonight. Lows level off around 20. Daytime highs approaching 56 tomorrow. Ample sunshine expected. Temperatures a bit above average Wednesday and Thursday with highs from the upper 40s to the lower 50s. Slight chance for rain Thursday. Taking a look at the extended forecast, 42 Friday, 51 Saturday, and 53 on Sunday. To recap, high of 55 today, lows level off around 20 tonight, high of 56 tomorrow. Get up to the minute weather updates from the Weatherology Weather Center. I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley on this NWKS radio station. Currently 10 above.
Drive into the new year with incredible deals at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Right now, get a $3,000 total cash allowance on the 24 Chevy Suburban or take home a 25 Chevy Equinox with 2.9% APR financing, plus no payments for 90 days when you finance with GM Financial. Looking for a truck? Get 0% APR on the 24 GMC Sierra 1500 with a 5.3-liter engine for well-qualified buyers and score $3,250 when you trade in an eligible vehicle. Visit Hurl Chevrolet GMC today or shop online at hurlchev.com.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Buy one iPhone 16 Pro Max and get one on Nextech Wireless. iPhone 16 Pro Max is powered by the A18 Pro chip and built for Apple Intelligence. Now available in 4 stunning finishes: black titanium, white titanium, natural titanium, and desert titanium. Which iPhone 16 Pro Max color will you choose? Stop by a location near you to take advantage of this amazing deal today. Nextech Wireless, connecting Kansans.
Your Cheyenne County Hospital in St. Francis is improving health with access to quality care. Whether you're looking for primary care, wound care, physical therapy, cardiologist, or anything in between, Cheyenne County Hospital can help. For info, visit their Facebook page or call 785-332-2104 or visit them at CheyenneCountyHospital.com. The Cheyenne County Hospital, located on 210 West Street in St. Francis.
New year, new projects, and new deals at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware. Start 2025 with a bang by tackling those home improvements. Refresh your space with vibrant Benjamin Moore paint or stock up on storage totes and shelves, perfect for organizing. Lumber prices are down, making it easier to tackle your next big project. Keep warm while you grill year-round with their top-notch grills and smokers from Traeger and Weber. And don't let the snow slow you down. Check out the great selection of snowblowers from Ego and Toro. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby, your partner for a productive new year.
Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio is the place to turn to weekdays for the latest agriculture news and markets. Being a member of the National Association of Farm Broadcasters, we take pride in making sure you're informed of the latest news from the world of agriculture. Whether it's local, state, regional, or national, if it affects your farm or ranch, you can count on hearing it here. Daily reports from Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio are made possible by Farmers State Bank, Norder Supply of Scott City, Cornerstone Ag, and Woofter Construction and Irrigation.
You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4!
It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volmker.
There is a benefit to building a team and keeping it together for the length of time. But that does not happen anymore because of the portal and NIL and money.
And Max Gershon.
I'm a very confident Chiefs fan. Sometimes I'm very pessimistic as well.
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Rocket 102.5 and streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
Who's got it better than that? Nobody!
Covering it all from the preps.
He throws it up for Cure. Lincoln makes the catch, and he's running down the sideline. Nobody's there. 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Goodland!
To the pros.
Bases loaded. Rockies down a run. McMahon drives it. Deep right field. How about a walk-off grand slam?
The Blitz is presented by Pearl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank, along with the Insurance Agency, the Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work.
Here's McDaniel, little floater from 15 feet. No. Anienzo with the follow on the bank and an and one.
1 minute to play in overtime. Griffin a fifth three. Why not? Ryland Griffin, have yourself a day.
First down play. Mahomes keeps it on an RPO at the 5. Gets a lead block. He goes into the end zone near side. Touchdown, Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes, a 16-yard run.
And that's it. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to the Super Bowl.
Chiefs are going to throw it. They throw it in the left flat. Cut. It's Samaje Perine at the 30. First down. And up the left sideline. I love you, Samaje Perine. And the Kansas City Chiefs are going to pull this off.
Happy Monday morning, everybody. We're back and rolling here on the Morning Blitz on Goodland's Rocket 102.5 and to BKSRadio.net. The Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream up and rolling as well on YouTube, Facebook, and X. Hope you're having a good start to this January 27th. Sunny and a chilly 19 degrees outside the KKCI studios here in Goodland, on our way to a high in the lower 50s. I know Max had a great weekend. What's up with the shades? Are you trying to act like you're Patrick Mahomes with your shades on? Why'd you take?
I'm just feeling good this morning, Ross. I'm just feeling too good this morning. What a night. What a time. I mean, it's just so much greatness that I've been able to witness and people have been able to witness. And it's truly incredible. It's truly incredible.
What's your first Chiefs memory?
My first Chiefs memory, I don't know if it was necessarily one, but I remember Matt Castle. I would always make fun of Matt Castle because he would throw the ball to Dwayne Bowe before he would even turn his head around as a kid. That was my running joke when I was like 6 years old. I remember when Matt Castle got hurt and everyone cheered. That was a classic. Just all those years of Todd Haley, Romeo Crennel, when we beat the Packers when they were with Romeo Crennel as the interim head coach, when the Packers were undefeated. Just a lot. And a lot of it's forgotten now. A lot of it is completely forgotten and thrown out the window because of where we are now. And it's been incredible to watch.
I've got memories further back than that, but one that always stands out to me is I just keep going back to thinking about how the Chiefs used to have a quarterback by the name of Tyler Thigpen.
Yeah. We had Matt Castle, Kyle Orton played a couple games here and there. That was a good name. It was bad leading up to Andy Reid and Alex Smith. And then it was still bad. Even that was, I was in middle school for some of those years. And I had no hope the Chiefs would ever do anything like this. I was just kind of, we'll make the playoffs, but then we'll lose to the Steelers or the Patriots or the Ravens or something. It's going to happen every year, or the Colts. That was just kind of the expectation. And then now we're here going to the 5th Super Bowl in the last 6 seasons, the only team ever to do so. It's crazy. It's hard to believe, really. It really is that, like, you watch all these dynasties, you watch the Patriots, you watch the Warriors, like the dynasties of my era, and then to think that Kansas City is now one of those historic things is truly remarkable. And like I remember also as a kid, Ross, like I would like be so excited when Kansas City would be on ESPN, like on the ticker on the side, the scrolling headlines, and I'd be like, oh my God, it's Kansas City. Like, we're finally getting some coverage. Like either the Royals or the Chiefs did something. And then it's on the ticker, and I'm like waiting for through the commercial break to watch it. And now it's like, 10 years, 5 years, whatever, 10 years later, it's like, it's just unbelievable. It is really unbelievable. Hard to believe.
Kansas City going to their third consecutive Super Bowl with the win over the Bills last night in the AFC Championship game. They will face the Eagles, for those who have been under a rock for the last 24 hours. Max is very stoked. He's got his Patrick Mahomes jersey on. For those who are not watching on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream, he had his Mahomes sunglasses on. I don't know why he took them off. I would have just rocked them the whole show. But nonetheless, but we are off and rolling here on a Monday morning. We've got lots to get into here on this Monday. We will get to weekend winners and losers here in just a little bit. We will dive into some more NFL thoughts with our good friend Nick Athen from Chiefs Blitz. And we'll try to get caught up on everything else that we missed from our first two segments in the leftovers. A typical Monday show here on January the 27th. As always, the F&B Bank text line is open at 785-899-2222 if you'd like to get your thoughts, your comments in. You can also comment on YouTube and Facebook. Producer Grandpa Gershon already on me this morning talking about how you can't beat a full house when the Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes and he holds all the cards. Look, I predicted the Bills to win, and I'm not going to lie, folks. I was sitting there a little bit, and I thought, you know what? This game is close. I'm not that far off on my prediction. I was feeling okay about it. When the fourth down call did not come, when they did not get that fourth down call to go their way on the quarterback sneak, which I do not understand what the Bills were doing two times in the game. Number one was, why are you throwing the ball so much in the first half? You should have been running the football all game and shortening the game and limiting possessions to 15. Why they don't do it, I don't know, especially when they ran the ball with so much success throughout the second half. And then the second thing is, why do we continue to run the quarterback sneak with everybody bunched in there tightly? I do not get this. This is stupid. This is so dumb. You want to know how you win? When you guys you have a guy as big as Josh Allen, you get everybody out. You say you put 3 receivers on this side, 2 receivers on this side. I don't care if you put 4 receivers on this side and 1 on this side, and you get everybody out of the box. And then you say, okay, well, I guess they're not going to guard. We're going to throw it over here, or we're just going to run quarterback power up the gut where we're going to be able to have the numbers. Why get all this massive humanity in there and all this stuff? And by the way, I'm agreeing with Tony Reale this morning. There needs to be a microchip in the football to help with spotting, because I believe there was a couple of times the spot was incorrect. But I do not blame the officials for that. It's a hard thing to see in the moment.
I don't think we have the technology
to get this done. I think he got that fourth down by the nose of the ball. That's what I think. Okay. I think he got it by the nose. I'm not saying he got it by much. I'm saying he got it by the nose.
Like, but
it doesn't matter. The Chiefs won the game, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Kansas City.
No.
They are the AFC champions. I feel horrible for Josh Allen, but congratulations to Kansas City on another great win.
Yeah, no, they're even taking my bias out of it. Like, I don't know. I haven't seen an angle. I'm like, he definitely for sure got it. I don't know. I'll have to look at it again today. But yeah, crazy. That was a crazy turn of events. I don't know why they did it again. There's so many other ways Josh Allen can pick up a first down than that.
Yeah, I don't get why they got caught up in that quarterback sneak. They ran it way too many times, and I thought it was just very, very dumb on their part to do it that way. But nonetheless, let's get rolling. It's a Monday. Time for weekend winners and losers.
There are 2 kinds of people in this world.
There's winners and there's losers.
Which ones were which this past weekend?
I want winners.
Loser! You're a loser!
It's the weekend's winners and losers on the Morning Blitz.
You want to be a winner, be a winner.
All right, Max. I have an idea of where you're going, but where are you going with weekend winners?
Well, we're going to start off with the Kansas City Chiefs are the winners of the weekend because they have defeated the Buffalo Bills for, that's right, the 4th time in the playoffs in the last 5 years. It was just, going more into the details of this game, there was just so many bright spots, and I thought Andy Reid called a fantastic game. That quarterback run when Mahomes rolled out and had 2 blockers set up ahead of him, almost like a rollout screen quarterback draw kind of thing that ended up in the touchdown. His second rushing touchdown was, one of the most brilliant play designs I've seen from Andy and Nagy in a long time. Just some unbelievable numbers that just continue to grow for Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. This was one of 59% of the Chiefs' pass attempts went for first downs with the season on the line. That's 99th percentile stuff from Patrick in this offense that had, like everyone said all year, struggled through the regular season. Of course, the Chiefs are the first team in NFL history to now reach 5 Super Bowls in 6 seasons. This is also one of my favorite stats. Trent McDuffie's draft class. Trent McDuffie, George Karlaftis, all those guys that were drafted in 2022 have still not lost a playoff game. They are still undefeated in the playoffs. They have done nothing but win the Super Bowl. The Chiefs have not lost a playoff game since trading Tyreek Hill. Do you remember how everyone said the division's now the Chargers, the division's now the Raiders or whoever, now the Tyreek's out, they're never going back. Like, oh, Mahomes won't be the same without Tyreek. Well, guess what? All they've done is win Super Bowls since we traded Tyreek Hill. Some more stats. This one was from Nick Wright from Fox Sports. There were 5 fumbles in the AFC Championship game. The Bills recovered all of them. The Chiefs still won the game. And that is just the Chiefs will find a way to defy the odds and continue to win football games. Mahomes now 17 wins passing Montana. Or excuse me, now he's got 18 wins. No, was that a 17th? That was a 17th, right? Should I'll have to double check.
You got me. I don't know off the top.
It's either I think it's 17. I think he's 17-3 in the playoffs, which is passing Montana's second most wins ever. 17-3. He has more Super Bowls more Super Bowl appearances than he does playoff losses. It is truly remarkable. And I thought Nate Burleson, one more thing that I had written down. Nate Burleson had a very great quote after that game last night on CBS. You are witnessing greatness, he said, and just be happy that you are alive there to see it. I get that people are angry, and I get people are going to still be angry. Look, I would be angry too, but at the end of the day, just sit down and appreciate it for a second. You know, people appreciated the Bulls in the 90s. This is what you're seeing again. For people that didn't get to live through the Bulls like myself, this is as close as it gets, is what you're seeing from the Kansas City Chiefs. So just so much to look forward to in the next 2 weeks. So excited, and it's just unbelievable that we get to do this all again for all Chiefs fans in Kansas City. And what a time to be alive, Ross. What a time to be alive.
Yeah, the tide is very high for Kansas City Chiefs fans. There's no doubt about it. It's kind of funny you bring up the thought about the Bulls and all that stuff. I have 2 thoughts on what you had to say there.
Mm-hmm.
First up, the Mahomes run. The Mahomes run, there were a couple of runs in the game where Mahomes took off and he had room and he had blockers, and the Bills were there to make the tackle. And there was one play in particular, and I believe it was the touchdown run, if my memory is correct.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe he took off and he ran, and I think that the Bills players could have tackled him and brought him down shy of the goal line. Or in this case, could have made a shorter run. Maybe it wasn't the touchdown run.
It was by the goal line.
Like I said, I'm trying to remember what it was, and I apologize if my memory's kind of blurring together on some of the runs that Mahomes had. But my point being is that I thought I saw the Bills kind of let up as they got to Mahomes, because I think they were afraid to hit him, because if he slid, they'd get 15-yard penalty or something like that. It really felt like it at a time when you needed to go and hit him. It felt like as if, well, we really don't want to touch him because we could get a penalty. It felt like that. And so I'm really starting to get behind the thought of that Tom Brady had. You can protect the quarterback as much as you want in the pocket. Once the quarterback leaves the pocket, it's all done. If you get walloped on a slide, if you get hit, that's just the way it goes. You have risked yourself leaving the pocket. I'm actually kind of starting to get behind that rule a little bit, because I think because as a defender, you're going up there looking like, well, I can't lay too big of a hit, because if he slides and I hit him, I'm going to get 15 extra yards. And Mahomes, to his credit, is very good at doing it. The late slide, it's phenomenally done. I'm not blaming Patrick Mahomes in this instance. I feel bad for the Bills in that scenario, because I feel like they could have probably hit him and brought him down. Not that it would have changed the outcome of the game. I just that stood out to me. And then one more point before I let you dive back in there, but you're talking about the Bulls of the 90s and the other great dynasties. And And I feel bad for Josh Allen because, honestly, I heard this quote on primetime after the game was over late last night. It was Booger McFarland. He said, sometimes when you're Josh Allen, you're born in the wrong era.
Yep.
If you're Malone or Stockton, you were a great player back when the Bulls were there, but it doesn't matter. You were these great players that were really, really good, but they never won because there was a GOAT in their era. For example, Michael Jordan. And Josh Allen, I feel like, is in that spot. He was kind of born in the wrong era because this is Patrick Mahomes' era to dominate. Anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said to a Bills friend last night. I'm like, I feel bad. It's just he's in the wrong era. There's nothing you do. He's just in the wrong era. But going back to your play, if you are talking about, which I know you are talking about the quarterback run to the right when he ended up scoring on that 15 or 10-yard run or whatever it was. I agree there needs to be change because the late slides and even what Mahomes did on Saturday, I'll admit it was terrible. You shouldn't be able to do that. They're too protected at a certain point. On that play specifically, I felt that they were when a quarterback runs, especially near the goal line, it feels like it was the same thing in that Titans run against the Chiefs, or the Chiefs run against the Titans in the first AFC Championship that they won back in 2019, 2020. And defenders start to go for the ball because they're like, oh, the quarterback has it. Let me rip this ball out of his hands. And that was the exact same thing that you saw from, I think it was Damar Hamlin and Kaiir Elam last night. So that was what I saw from that play. But I do agree with you. Quarterbacks are too protected. The late slide needs to be figured out because it's not fair for defenders. But in that instance, I mean, I don't believe that Kaiir Elam and Damar Hamlin, 3 yards from the goal line, are thinking, I can't hit this guy because I'm going to get a 15-yard penalty.
I wouldn't think that either, but sometimes you just kind of get it caught in your head.
No, rewatch the play. We'll come back to it, but I disagree.
I'm not taking anything away from Mahomes.
No, I'm not saying you are.
Or anything. I'm not
saying you are.
And once again, they're already inside the 10, and I believe it was first down.
Yeah, but I mean,
they probably would have scored anyway in some form or fashion, but I don't know. There was just something about that made me feel inside like I feel like they could have gone harder and trying to make that play, and they didn't. And maybe there's
if they didn't go. I just think if they didn't go for the ball, they could have made the tackle, but they went for the ball. That's what I think about that play. But I agree with you, though. I agree with you that there needs to be a change on the quarterback protection outside of the pocket.
No doubt, Kansas City Chiefs, a winner of the weekend in their fan base. Dad Gershon chiming in with the appreciation, the greatness that is our team. Feels so good to say it. I also appreciate how good the Bills are. I believe the difference must be the coaching, not effort, not talent, but calls on offense and defense in the critical moments. I don't know. Sometimes
I thought they played a little scared. What do you think about that?
The Bills?
I thought some of their offensive game plan was scared. Yeah,
initially,
definitely.
Right out of the gate, they did. Initially, I feel once I said it earlier in the show, just a few minutes ago, I said, to me, they screwed up and they didn't run the ball soon enough or enough. They needed to run the football. That is their strength. But they got caught up in the hype and they're like, oh, we got to have the ball in Josh Allen's hands. He's got to make the plays for us. No, you don't. You need to run the football, and the Chiefs don't really stop the run that great. And you just run the ball and you keep it away from 15. You score, you shorten the game, you keep it away from 15, you run the ball. And then when Josh needs to make a play with his legs or his arm, then he can go do that. That was my thought. That was my opinion.
Yeah. And it's interesting because
Andy Reid was great. The open and Nagy were fantastic. I mean, the opening drive was clinical, surgical. The Chiefs just went right down the field and scored. I mean, that opening play script was great. Buffalo's opening play script was crap. And I thought, gosh, it's going to get bad. Well, then Buffalo settled in, and all of a sudden they kind of got going, and they got going because they ran the ball. That's how you beat the Chiefs. You play keep away from 15. And when you get in a situation when you're down late in the game and you got to convert on third, Spagnuolo says, well, we're just going to blitz the house. And guess what? That's a hard thing to beat.
It is. And I think, I don't necessarily hate that part of the game plan from the Bills. Like from watching the Chiefs all year, teams have struggled early in games to run the ball, and they really get better as the game progresses at running the football, and there's more strengths in passing in the first half. Now, it didn't work out for the Bills last night, but I'd have to look more into the numbers on that, but that is something I believe to be true, that the Chiefs are a better first half rushing defense than they are in the second. But look, I don't know. I just felt like their offensive game plan was just a little scared, but that's something we can talk to Nick about.
I don't think they attempted to run the ball enough. Bills ran for 147 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaged about 4.6 yards per carry, and most of those carries coming in the second half.
Yep.
So they should have ran the ball earlier and more often. All right, moving on. Weekend winners and losers here on the Morning Blitz. I'm going to dive into a lot of I got a lot of local winners this weekend that I want to highlight. First and foremost, shout out to Oakley girls basketball. The Lady Plainsmen. I said on the show Friday it'd be really cool if we could see Hoxie and Oakley facing off for a Mid-Con League basketball tournament championship on the girls' side, and we got it. The Hoxie girls the Oakley girls defeat Hoxie 48-41. And it's not the fact that they beat Hoxie, who, of course, is a very good 2A team, a ranked team. But with the win, they capture their first ever Mid-Con League title in their program's history. That is a very, very big deal. So congratulations to the Oakley Lady Plainsmen basketball team. They beat their rivals Hoxie and captured their first MCL title. So they are a winner of the weekend. A couple more quick local winners. Fort Hays Tech Northwest men's basketball. Of course, our friend of the program and Brad Shaw, head coach for the Tech men, who've been on the show with us a couple times. They won down in Hutch on Saturday. And for those who don't know, the Hutchinson Sports Arena, a very difficult place to win in the Jayhawk. And the Fort Hays Tech Northwest men went down there and had a great second half, outscored the Blue Dragons 46-30, got 23 points from Chase Harris, 19 in the second half, and they win 75-61 over Hutch. It's the first ever win in the program's history over the Blue Dragons in the Hutchinson Sports Arena. So once again, a first there for a winner of the weekend for Fort Hays Tech Northwest men. And how about Colby High School girls wrestling? What a weekend they had as well. It was absolutely fantastic. It started Friday where they ran away with first place at the Cimarron Girls Invite. They had 9 girls place, top 3 with 5 champions. And then Saturday they went up to St. Francis and they won the Buffalo Invite where they beat Norton by 7 points. They had 6 girls finish in first place, did Colby. So Colby girls wrestling taking home 2 golds practically in 2 consecutive days in women's wrestling. So there, my quick local winners of this past weekend.
Yeah, and also shout out to everyone at the Orange and Black tournament this weekend locally on Saturday, and then obviously Olathe North winning. Did you see the story that
Yes.
Sports in Kansas posted about Olathe North with those kids here in Colby?
Yeah, the 4th graders from
that was
Colby there was a group of 4th graders from Colby that were there, and they were cheering on Olathe North, who doesn't have a huge following when they come all the way higher west, understandably.
They're
so.
fun to watch, though.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun to watch.
Very fun to watch.
And as 4th graders, when you see guys that can literally fly,
yeah,
and play the game at a different level like you don't see every single day, it can be kind of fun. And so anyway, they kind of became this group of 4th graders, from Colby, became these fans of these kids from Olathe North. And anyway, they invited the Olathe North team to come watch them in their tournament in Brewster on Saturday morning. And since Olathe North did not have anything going on until the nighttime with their game, they showed up there and cheered on those kids at Brewster, which was very, very cool. Even their star player, Jalen Watson, was there. You could see it because he's about as tall as the 4th graders, or they're just about as tall as him because Watson's only like 5'8". But it was pretty darn cool to see those kids come out. And I'm sure it's neat for them to have some fans out here cheer them on when they're out here, kind of them against the world to an extent at times. So that was a really cool story.
So I'll give the winners of the weekend as well to them, but not only because they won the Orange and Black tournament, but also because of that moment, because that's cool. That's cool stuff.
No,
that's
very, very good.
That's my winner. So I mean, I can get into my losers who really balanced out my weekend a little bit.
Dive into the losers. Let's get this done. What do we got?
The Kansas Jayhawks. Can we talk about how bad they were? I mean, that is just an unbelievable loss. I don't think I've ever seen. There's been a lot of firsts this year for the Kansas Jayhawks in my lifetime. This might be the worst offensive team. This might be just the worst team in general in my life. Well, guess what? That was the worst choke, I think, from Kansas basketball in my entire life. I mean, I'm sitting there. It was hard not to just laugh at a certain point in that game. Just unbelievable, just disastrous choke job, awful. After that game though, I was telling it with some buddies, I was like, this only confirms the 3-peat. because you can't have all your teams win at the same time on one weekend. So the Jayhawks loss though to Houston was a rough one for sure. Big fat L for KU, and they're the losers of the weekend.
I kept seeing on social. I didn't get to watch it live in person. But I just kept seeing on social media like this end of the game is nuts, and I can't believe what we're witnessing. And then when it's all said and done, like, can you believe that happened? And luckily, when I got home late Saturday night and I was getting into bed, it was on. And so I watched the last 3 minutes of regulation, the first overtime, and the second overtime. I watched it to completion. That into the first overtime was bad. Once again, when you lead by 6 with less than 10 seconds to play in overtime and you still don't win, that is bad.
Just make your free throws, DeJuan. I'm sick of it.
17 of 30 from the foul line is a problem, and that is why Kansas will not win a national championship, because they don't make free throws. You have to make free throws to win a national championship.
Well, and the worst part is the best player was Flory Badinga, and he's not going to start, because when KJ's back, he's not going to start, because Bill Self loves KJ, and I think that he should start over KJ because he's a better basketball player than KJ. But it's not up to me; it's up to Bill Self, and he's going to go back to KJ. So yeah, it's toast. It really is toast. Unfortunately, they're still a good basketball team, in general, but they're not a good KU basketball team. So it's just I'm not seeing it here this year for KU.
They're going to win a lot of games, and they're going to win some games in the tournament, but they're not going to win.
Now, I don't know about that.
I just don't think it's going to happen. That pass was just so bad on the inbound to allow that 3-pointer to be made. That was
it's just like a foot high. Just throw it higher. He's 7 feet tall. Why? Just throw it higher. It's not hard. It's not a hard pass. Just throw it higher. You knew he was going to make it.
Really, it was a bad weekend overall for regional college basketball teams besides Kansas State, who put it into that 6-game skid. Yeah. They walloped West Virginia. They got up to a 19-2 lead. They took care of their business at Bramlage. Other than that, everybody else, Colorado remains winless in Big 12 play. Nebraska's dropped 6 in a row after they got spanked at Wisconsin Sunday morning. And, of course, with Kansas's meltdown there at the end. Yeah, it was a bad weekend really overall for college basketball teams. Do you have any other losers this weekend?
No, it's just KU. It's really just KU.
I figured it would be. All right, we got to get to a break. Nick Athen's going to join us for a little bit. He's a little under the weather, but he's going to hop on and join us for just a few minutes and get his thoughts on this Kansas City Chiefs' third straight Super Bowl appearance. You're listening to the Morning Blitz here on a Monday morning.
New year, new projects, and new deals at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware. Start 2025 with a bang by tackling those home improvements. Refresh your space with vibrant Benjamin Moore paint or stock up on storage totes and shelves, perfect for organizing. Lumber prices are down, making it easier to tackle your next big project. Keep warm while you grill year-round with their top-notch grills and smokers from Traeger and Weber. And don't let the snow slow you down. Check out their great selection of snowblowers from Ego and Toro. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby, your partner for a productive new year.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Kate Thompson of the Anderson Trade Group. Today is Monday, January 27th. And on the overnight slots, 9 March corn lower 7 1/4 at 4.79 1/4. May down 7 1/2, 4.89. July down 7 at 4.90 1/2. September down 6 1/2 at 4.57 3/4. March soybeans down 10 1/2 on the overnight at 10.45 1/4. May down 9 3/4 at 10.58 1/2. July down 10 1/4 at 10.69 1/4. August beans down 10 1/2 at 10.62. Chicago wheat, the March contract lower 5 1/4 at 5.38 3/4. May down 5 cents, 5.53 3/4. July down 5 1/4 at 5.64 3/4. September soft wheat down 5 1/4 at 5.78 1/4. Kansas City wheat, the March contract lower 3 3/4 on the overnights at 5.55 3/4. May down 4 at 5.65 1/2. July down 4 at 5.74 1/2. September hard wheat down 4 1/2 at 5.86 1/2. On the stock market this morning, the Dow down $326 at 44,276. The S&P down 128 at 6,005. The Nasdaq down 762 at 21,148. Crude oil down 37 cents a barrel at 74.29, and gold down $18 an ounce at 2,761. If you have any questions about marketing grain or would like to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call. John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484, or in our Kansas City office, myself, Tom Sluto, Jared Law, or Toby Ghosh at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Imagine having more days of perfect weather, a combine that's more powerful, or even more soybean bushels per acre at harvest. With Revitec fungicide, you don't have to imagine that last one, because it's proven to deliver up to 9.5 more soybean bushels per acre than the competition. With results like that, it's easy to see why Revitec fungicide is the #1 recommended fungicide by soybean farmers. Visit Revitec.com and talk to your BASF retailer today. Always read and follow label directions.
LivestockMarket.com puts you in control when buying or selling commercial livestock, seed stock, or show stock. The easy-to-use online platform at LivestockMarket.com offers private treaty, online auction, and live auction internet bidding. Animals are sold before they ever leave your place. And with LivestockMarket.com, there's no middleman. Buyers connect directly with livestock and hay producers. There's no easier way to find buyers for cattle, sheep, goats, pigs, and hay. Sell on your terms today with LivestockMarket.com.
Whether it's touchdowns, home runs, or buzzer beaters, we've got you covered. It's the Morning Blitz.
Back here on a Monday morning on the Morning Blitz. Glad you could join us. Ross Volkmer, Max Gershon, and our good friend from Chiefs Blitz, our insider Nick Ath, a little under the weather, but toughing through it here on the morning. Nick, how we doing today?
I feel great about the Chiefs. My body doesn't feel quite the same after the last week, but yeah, worst flu I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Oh man!
So
the whole house. Okay, let me ask you this: did you get the flu shot too?
No, I'm not a vaccine person. So
okay, all right. Because I tell you what, I got the flu shot the last couple of years. And I tell you, I still ended up getting something, and by gosh, it was bad.
Yeah,
so,
anyway, we're not having that conversation.
No, I'm not trying to dive into that at all. Not trying to at all. But the Chiefs get a win here against the Bills, 32-29. They're on to their third straight Super Bowl. I'm going to start with this question because it's been on my mind, but I didn't want to ask it until they actually made it to the Super Bowl. Nick, when did this whole thing, I'm talking the whole kit and caboodle, the success of the run for Kansas City, when was it birthed? When did it start?
You mean this? You mean, okay, I think I know what you're asking me. This Super Bowl quest happened. I'll tell you exactly what happened. So
like the quest for the three-peat, this great run it's all on. I want to.
I got the singular moment.
Start. Yes.
So when Patrick Mahomes lost to the New England Patriots at home in the AFC Championship game, their first AFC Championship game since Raiders Chiefs, and after the game, Patrick Mahomes goes in the locker room, and he's so distraught, and he tells his players, "We are never going to lose a game like this again. We are never going to be in this position and not succeed." And then Tom Brady comes in about 30 minutes after the game and consoles him and tells him, "You're doing it right. You're the next guy." And I think that just took his mental approach to a whole new level. And they came back the next year and they won it. And then they won it the last 2 years. They're about to win it 3. But I think it was that loss at that age, at that moment, and he was so fresh to the NFL, and he was amazing. He just got it. He understood what it really, really took. And they won it in Super Bowl 54, and then they lost to the Patriots, and they lost to the Bengals. Again, his own mistakes, his own errors, and he just realized, okay, now I got to take it a different level. Now I have a different kind of team. And what they've accomplished the last 3 years with no superstar wide receiver, with a put together offensive line, with an amazing aging tight end, and a head coach who's a Hall of Famer, and a defensive coordinator who will go down as the best of all time. It's just remarkable that they can get 53 guys to play on a Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, whatever, and understand that every moment is a championship moment. And you learn these things. That's why they struggled in the regular season at times, but they just kept grinding out wins, and everybody's tearing them down. And for Mahomes, I just got to play. I got to be better in the big moments. And my teammates, you guys got to be better in the big moments. And they just are simply the better team in the best moments. But I think it was that loss to Tom Brady.
I got one more I want to follow up. It doesn't even go back to, whether it was the hiring of Andy Reid or Brett Veach was brought on or as the general manager. I like that. That would be it was that point, as you're saying. Okay.
I don't think. I mean, Andy was a great hire, and promoting Brett was a great hire. But you kind of knew what you're going to get with Andy at that time. He hadn't won a Super Bowl. Went to 4 Super Bowls. And I think if you look at his record, people are going to say, okay, it's a good, consistent coach, certainly better than Romeo Crennel, and certainly someone who's going to probably bring some structure. Brought all his Philly guys over, and he did a good job with Alex Smith, and Alex had his issues and wasn't really a big game moment guy, and he just kind of okay. And then Patrick comes in, and that was everything. I mean, I was in on this, man. I had the rumor. I knew they were going to trade up. They were so focused on him for a year and a half, and when he came on board, they have their Wayne Gretzky, they have their Michael Jordan, they have their Bill Russell. They have one of the greatest players of all time in any sport. He's 29 years old. He's going to try for his 4th Super Bowl, 5 Super Bowl appearances in the last 6 years. Brady who?
It's been unbelievable to watch. Let's talk about the game last night specifically. Give me some of your big, like maybe your top 3 moments that really swung this game in the Chiefs' direction.
I think the worthy catch was huge. I don't care much of the controversy because the ball was pinned to his chest. He just wanted the ball more. And I didn't think he had that in him. I didn't think he could make that type of play. And Mahomes had Juju Smith-Schuster wide open underneath. Probably would have scored a touchdown. But he was under such duress that he threw it up to the smallest guy in the field and said, "Hey, go get it." And he came down with it. I thought that was huge. I think that the way the defense, stopped Josh Allen in short yardage situations. That stand when Tranquil comes over and just bends Allen over and pushes him to the side and back for a yard deep. Now, we can be controversial about the play, the call as far as where the ball was spotted, and 2 officials were one had it one way, the other had it the other way. But instant replay is a lie. You got to remember, guys, they have angles we don't see on TV. And if it was going to be a play in which was overturned, they would have had to have enough evidence, and they simply didn't. And I think obviously the last play was Spags throwing the corner blitz out, just in the way that Allen moved the protection to the other side because he had no idea that there was even something coming that way. And there was Justin Reed, and there was McDuffie, and then there was Karlaftis, and he had no time to throw the ball. And I didn't even think Dalton had a chance to catch that ball, until I saw the replay, from the other view and how close it actually was.
Yeah.
And it would have gone down as the greatest play in Josh Allen's repertoire. And it didn't happen, but Spags, to just find the right moment to be incredible, that was fun to watch.
I said it a couple months ago, and Ross, I don't know if he laughed at me necessarily, but he did kind of chuckle when I said Spags was the greatest defensive coordinator of all time, and he continues to prove me to be right. How in the world is he not a head coach?
Well, it's my understanding that he did talk to the Raiders and Tom Brady, And Tom was very interested in him. They just felt that Pete Carroll had more experience. And honestly, Spag, I kind of knew Spags wasn't going to get the job when he said, I really like it here. He's the highest paid defensive coordinator in the NFL, which is higher than some NFL head coaches. And he likes it here. And I think that there was a potential there to get something done, but they just wanted somebody who had more NFL experience and had success. I think they're eyeing Russell Wilson, which I think would be a huge mistake to go over there. But Spags to me he's the MVP of this football team in every single way. He's a mad scientist, and his players were just gushing, after the game last night about him. And it's not all about football. It's about life and preparation for the moment and understanding what this time means. And it's very philosophical. And you get these coaches who are just so stuck in the mud about X's and O's. Why is Chris Jones getting emotional on the sidelines? Because that's how he plays. That's what his fuel is. And Spags likes that. He's okay with that. Be yourself. And I didn't like the hire initially. I thought, Spags, come on. And of course, we're going from Bob Sutton, so there wasn't a whole lot of jump, but
it's true.
I just kudos to him and kudos to the Chiefs for paying him because he's making a lot of money.
He deserves every bit.
Yeah, he does.
Well, Nick, we don't want to keep you too long, but I want to get your thoughts initially on the matchup against the Eagles for the Super Bowl here in a couple weeks.
I haven't really given it much thought. I was surprised the Chiefs were open to 1.5 to 2 point favorites.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised by that. I think that tells me that the national media is saying, well, maybe they are going to three-peat. I was very surprised by that. Listen, the Eagles are who and what they are. I thought they ran up the score a little bit. I thought they were a little unprofessional yesterday, but that's just the way Nick Sirianni plays football. He doesn't really care. And if he's going to rub your face, he's going to rub your face in it. And I thought that the fact that they just kept piling on points was unnecessary. But, I don't think he's going to outsmart Andy Reid. I don't think he's going to outsmart Spags. I don't think he's going to show something that Patrick Mahomes hasn't seen. The way Mahomes maneuvered the offense yesterday, he was adjusting everything at the line of scrimmage. It was fascinating to watch. It was so quick and so sudden. And I think for Kansas City, I'm not betting against Mahomes. Clearly, I've said this to you guys all year. They were going to three-peat. I think they understand their destiny, understand their place. I think they understand what this moment means. They will go down as the greatest team in NFL history. Patrick Mahomes will become the GOAT. I don't care how many Super Bowl wins Tom Brady has. 5 or 6 or 7 of these guys are going to be in the Hall of Fame, plus 2 coaches at minimum. And I think for the Chiefs, how they got here is just, it's fascinating and it's amazing that they didn't really talk about it internally. We all did. We talked it to death. And they executed it. Can you imagine your Patrick Mahomes and the entire fan base is saying, come on, Patrick, just go for the 3. Just can you get the 3-peat done for us? Can you go out there? Can you just do it for your kingdom family? Good for your players. And he's still the most humble guy out there. Who did he give praise to? He gives praise to God and gives praise to his teammates. The Chiefs are the best team in football and will win this game because they have the right temperament. They have the right players. They have the right glue guys. You got to have glue guys on offense and defense that just do their roles. A guy like Samaje Perine makes one play in the game. It's a play they run with him all season long. And what does Andy Reid do? Trips to the right, shifts, trips to the left, and slides P right underneath. And that's why they're going to win this football game, because there's no way they didn't work this hard to get to the last game and not get it done. And I think this is going to be the best Chiefs played game of the year.
Is there real quickly? Is there any
Keep going. I'm good.
concern? Is there any concern that Barkley could run for a lot of yards?
Well, of course there is, but I don't think the Commanders' defense is as good as the Chiefs.
I would agree there. Okay,
and I don't think that they're going to be able to. Now, here's the thing: it's not an overly complicated running system that they use. The advantage that Barkley has is he's like King Henry. If you give him some space and you don't tackle, he'll cut back and he'll get big chunks of yards. The Chiefs have given up yards, but they haven't given up, 50, 60, 70-yard runs all season long. And I think the sledding is going to be a little bit more difficult. And I think Spags, who told his team, like in that last drive against, or the second to last drive with Allen, when they turned the ball over on downs, you got to stop the run. So he'll find a way to focus on the run. I mean, Jalen Hurts doesn't scare me with his arm. I'm not too concerned about that. But, I think that Barkley is going to get 100 yards, and I think he's going to be somewhat effective. But if the Chiefs are up, a couple of touchdowns, then you're going to see a different football team. Now, to their credit, the one thing that I believe the Eagles will do that the Bills failed to do was they'll keep running the football if the game is close. And that's where the Bills really lost.
Yeah.
They stopped running the ball. And this has happened in every playoff game with McDermott. He's got a hot hand running back. And what does he do? He keeps trying to make Josh Allen the superstar. And instead, he's just needed to make Josh Allen manage the game, put the best players out there in front of him, and let him use the court and be successful. The Chiefs are going to be prepared for Barkley. They know if you stop Barkley, the Eagles have zero chance to win.
They said the same thing about McCaffrey last year. They've played good running backs. They have played good running backs almost every single year, and he did.
And in the biggest play of the game, they stopped him, and then they forced Purdy to make plays.
Same
and
thing.
He couldn't make plays. And where's Purdy now?
Nowhere.
Yeah.
About to get paid? No.
I don't know, man. I think that's a huge mistake. I can't imagine giving him $50 million a year. The whole 49ers organization is a mess.
Yeah, they've got some issues they got to get figured out for sure.
I wouldn't want to be any part of that. There's going to be a lot of defections from San Francisco this offseason. You watch.
Nick, thank you so much for the time. Get better. We'll talk to you next week.
Feel better, Nick.
Guys, appreciate you.
Once again, great stuff there from Nick Athen here on the Morning Blitz. We'll take our final break, come back and wrap things up. Next, you're listening to a Monday edition of the Blitz.
Are you ready to add a touch of sparkle to your life? Look no further than Zimbelman's Jewelry, your local hometown store. At Zimbelman's Jewelry, we believe that every piece of jewelry tells a unique story, and we're here to help you find the perfect one to cherish forever. From stunning engagement rings that symbolize eternal love to exquisite necklaces that complement your style, we have a dazzling collection to suit every taste and budget. So come visit us at Zimbelman's Jewelry in downtown Burlington today and discover the magic of jewelry that celebrates life's precious moments.
The Farmers State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment, or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmers State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
Your livelihood is important to you. You work hard to succeed in your farming operation, crop, livestock, home, vehicles, and special needs. We have you covered. Discounts are available for new business, remodeling, hail-resistive roofing, multi-policy, and many more. Optional coverage endorsements as well for machinery ingestion and equipment breakdown. Umbrella coverage for additional coverage on your home, farm, and auto. See the girls at the insurance agency at 1020 Main in Goodland or call 785-899-5011.
Looking for great food and unbeatable convenience? Swing by the Cowboy Corner Express. Every Thursday, enjoy their famous barbecue beef sandwiches, hot and fresh. Need to feed a crowd? Their sandwich and wrap trays are perfect for any occasion. Start your day with some delicious daylight donuts. And don't forget, students and school employees get 10% off every day, excluding gas, alcohol, and cigarettes. The Cowboy Corner Express, located on South Main in Goodland.
At FNB Bank, we understand the backbone of our community is our local farmers and ranchers. Whether you're growing crops, raising livestock, or investing in new equipment, we're here to help you succeed. Our agricultural loans are tailored to meet the unique needs of your farm, with flexible terms from people who understand what it takes to make it in agriculture. When you partner with FNB Bank, you're working with neighbors who know the land and are invested in your success. FNB Bank, rooted in our community, growing with you. Member FDIC.
Breaking down the plays, the players, and the passion.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
This is the Morning Blitz.
A fun little factoid about it's not fun from the Bills fans' perspective, but since 2019, the Bills have won 78 regular season and playoff games, the most ever in a 6-year span, without a Super Bowl appearance. Boy, the pain is hard for Buffalo Bills fans.
Have you looked through his playoff resume, Josh? He's not beaten. His best win was last week against the Ravens. That's the only really impressive. I mean, he's beaten Bo Nix, he's beaten Mac Jones, he's beaten Kenny Pickett, he's beaten he's Tua, he beat it's just not a lot of bad quarterback. And then he's 0-5 against or now 0-6 against Watson, Burrow, and Mahomes. So rough resume he's putting together. Also, one more thing about the game is did you see who was in the locker room last night with the Chiefs?
No, who was?
Your quarterback, Dylan Raiola.
Oh yeah, he was there.
With the Chiefs jacket.
Chiefs so DR was there. I did see that. DR, Dawson Merritt, who's a recruit, his dad is on the staff. And so that was the other guy. So it was like Mr. Merritt and Dawson Merritt, who's a linebacker going to Nebraska. And then the guy in the middle is Terry Braden, who is he's the assistant defensive line coach, who will be Nebraska's head defensive line coach here in the fall. So
and I think
lots of Nebraska connections to the Chiefs this year.
This is why another reason I told my friend who goes to Nebraska, shout out Will Larson, that I would give him a shout out because he was talking to me about this, that Mahomes and Raiola share a quarterback coach.
Yes, they do.
They have the same quarterback coach, and he called them, it's Mahomes and Mahotel. Is Raiola's Mahotel. I might have to steal that from him here on out. But that was so funny because Pacheco was on live and he's like, "This isn't Pat, y'all. This isn't Pat. It's Dylan Raiola." It was funny.
Why does it call it Mahotel?
Why it looks exactly like Mahomes. It's not a house. Mahomes.
Oh,
it's
okay.
a hotel.
They're talking about how big he is because he's big.
No, it's like Mahomes and Mahotel.
No, Dylan Raiola says he has he said before the media, no, I play the way I want to or stuff, and everything he does is a copycat of
it. Is exactly. It was really funny. Just
everything he does is Mahomes
hilarious.
Jr.
Hilarious. Good quarterback. He's good though.
We'll see.
He's got potential.
He has got all the potential in the world. We'll see what he can do over the next couple of years. Let's see here. What was this one? Friend of mine chiming in on the text line. Maybe Dylan saw Patrick take a hit to get that touchdown and not slide. Very true. Very true. Dylan's young. He's got some learning to do, and that's all right. We'll figure it out as we go. Anything else you have in the leftovers that you want to get off before we get to the walk off here?
I don't think so. I think let's get to the walk off.
Let's see here. We got all the stuff about basketball. Yeah, I think we're good.
KU sucks.
Yeah,
K-State won finally.
That's right. On to the walk off.
And back lifts his ball high and deep to right. How about a walk-off Gray? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
If you don't have anything in the walk-off, I've got something. What do you got?
Go ahead. You go first.
I There was a power play move yesterday in college football. Ohio State and reigning defensive coordinator of the national champions, Jim Knowles, leaves Ohio State to go to rival Penn State for $3.1 million. James Franklin flexes, takes the DC from Ohio State. Come be my defensive coordinator. I've got more pieces than they do this year, and we'll try and go win a national championship with the Nittany Lions. What a flex by James Franklin.
That is a flex. I got one thing in the walk-off, and that was I don't even know how to say it. Luvu, the guy for the Commanders that kept diving over the tush push in that game,
yes.
and they almost awarded points to the Eagles. Honestly, that was the only part I enjoyed watching in that game. So I'm glad he did that because that was kind of fun.
I think once again, just my initial gut thinking of this Super Bowl coming up, I think I go back to the same thing. If you want to beat Mahomes, you got to keep the ball away from him. And how do you do that? By running the football. And if you've got a quarterback that runs and a running back that's really, really good behind the best offensive line in football, that's how you win this Super Bowl if you're the Eagles. You run the ball constantly.
They can't
keep it away from Mahomes.
But you can't make any mistakes and you can't turn the ball over. That's the thing. But we'll talk about it a lot, I'm sure.
There'll be plenty of that, I'm sure. But that'll do it for our show today. We're back again tomorrow in 23 hours for another edition of the Morning Blitz. We'll see you then. Have a good one.
KKCI, Goodland, Colby, Burlington.